wonderful. Do you approve of what the president is doing? He's underwater on that, as you can see right there. But the more damaging one is the fact that is the country headed in the right direction? And 71% of Americans say that we are, as we change the polls, there it is right there. Look at that upper right-hand corner. It's in red because that's a warning number. That is terrible for Joe Biden and the Democrats. 71% think we're on the wrong track.
That is unbelievable. 71%, that includes Democrats too, on
Sure.
the wrong track.
And think about all the Democrats in Congress who are pushing these two gigantic spending bills as they look at 71% and say we're on the wrong track. Is that going to help us? And the answer is probably
Well, think
not.
about what you have Afghanistan leaving Americans behind enemy lines and our allies back there. Also, think about what's happening down in Texas and on our southern border, letting people in, saying we're thinking about paying them $450,000.
What about gas? Every time you fill up your
I was going to say that. The economy, to your point, that's on the list in Virginia. That's on everyone's list. So expensive to fill up your tank. Your electric bills are going up. We can't get supplies. We can't get Christmas presents. And people are worried about that. And CRT in our schools. That's why education's such a big deal in Loudoun County and in Fairfax County, because you have one candidate that says, no, we're not teaching CRT, but then you have parents that show evidence of where CRT is being taught there. So can you trust McCollum? He's saying it's not being taught, and we have examples of where it is being taught, and then he comes out and he says, because remember, he was ahead 2 months ago. Then he comes out and he says parents shouldn't be involved in our kids' education. We should leave that up to the school boards.
Wrong answer.
Wrong.
So a couple of things. I don't want to hit you with too many numbers, but within that 71% that says we're on the wrong track, 37% say Joe Biden has the ability to handle a crisis. 47% says he doesn't. Only 37% say he's competent and effective. That is tragic. And then 28% says he's knowledgeable and experienced. And this is the scary part if you're a Democrat. The GOP against the Democrats. The GOP ranks higher by 27 points on the border, on inflation 24, on crime 22, on national security 21, on the economy 18. On getting things done, they have a 13-point advantage. If you're a Democrat, whether it's the New Jersey governor race, which it seems to be that closing at the last minute, or in Virginia, or you wonder what's going to happen in 2022, while you can't pass a spending bill, that's the only thing you're doing is asking your party to vote for something the president of your party wants. They look absolutely like they are thrashing, and I'm not saying they're not going to get something done, but the fact is that they missed 4 cutoff dates that they put out there and pulled back on tomorrow's date to have a vote. I think this is the utter definition of chaos.
Well, yesterday, as they wrapped up the G20 in Rome, they did have a press availability. And given the host of, as Ainsley depicted, the things that are going wrong, at one point, one of the pre-selected reporters, apparently was
How many were
on
there?
there.
5?
I think 5. Fox News never on the list. One of the questions was, Mr. President, why do you say America is back on the world stage? Because everything is going the wrong way for you at home. Also, when it comes to the supply chain thing, a lot of people are worried about Christmas. A lot of people are worried about you ordered furniture and fabric and it's not coming anytime soon. Here's what the president had to say, where he's talking a little bit about, look, the reason it's hard to find people is because there's so much demand. So that's a good thing, right? Here's the president in Rome.
Because they're able to negotiate for higher wages and they like move from one job to another. That's one of the reasons why. A lot of people don't want to continue to do the job they did before, making $7, $8, $9 an hour. So what you're seeing here is a combination of the desire of people to be able to change professions, to be able to do more and take care of their families, and at the same time dealing with an issue that in fact we are short of workers, but worker pay has actually gone up, and we've employed 6 million people just since I got elected. So employment's up. The economy is actually, in spite of all this, still growing. You're going to see continued economic growth under our proposals.
I mean, his explanation, he's absolutely winging it. The fact is, he's had a chance to address the the ports, and the numbers have gone up by 20 extra ships. It went from 54 to 72 ships in the Los Angeles port, and that is the place that was supposed to work 24 hours and begin to alleviate the backlog. This, at the very least, what the American people want at the smallest and greatest level, to know you care and are hustling to try to get something done. There's no indication that he is. So then wheel out your transportation secretary, who didn't tell anyone in the public that he was going to take off for 2 months for paternity leave, and then a Commerce Secretary. Both of them have tried to explain the continued glut when it comes to our ports and goods.
There are definitely going to continue to be issues, especially as long as the pandemic continues, right? If you have, for example, the third largest container port in the world in China shutting down because of a COVID outbreak in late summer, you'll feel that in the fall here on the West Coast. Now, we're taking the actions that we know we can.
You can't just turn the economy back on overnight. So it takes a little bit of time. People say to me, will Christmas gifts be delivered? To which I say, call FedEx. You know, that isn't what the government does. What we are doing, and the president is committed to this, we're using every tool in our toolbox to be supportive, to help, to unstick the ports.
You know, for her to say you can't turn the economy back on overnight. Remember, Joe Biden ran on, I can do a better job getting the country out of the pandemic than Donald Trump can. Okay, he got the job. And obviously, at every turn, it looks like the White House is coming up short. They did not forecast the demand. They did not help employers get people back to work. And of course, there are so many people who are not working. That's why there's a supply chain problem. Aren't enough drivers, aren't enough warehouse people, aren't enough people to stock the shelf. It's just a vicious cycle. And, you know, for her to say, you know, about your Christmas presents, don't blame us, blame FedEx. It's all part of a larger problem that starts with the federal government.